Hey,
What is
going
on? Happy Halloween.
I see that we already got 3 people joining us today. Happy Halloween. Halloween's tomorrow, right? I just want to make sure that I'm
so okay. We're a day early. This is what they call Devil's Night.
Devil's Night. So I plan on sleeping in this outfit. So I wanted to make sure that I still had a whole day that I was going to wear it.
You forgot about the eyeliner. Just saying.
Just saying. Anyways, what's going on, bud? How have you been?
Oh, not too bad. I just been busy. Got up back on schedule this week. I was happy with that. Things are progressing and getting better. In fact, I even mounted my talked about forever black light box. I know you can only see about half of it right now.
You sent me a picture of that the other day. Can you get a better view of that right here?
Let's see.
Oh man, that box is pretty awesome. So I've got to ask you, how hard was it to make?
Not hard. It was one sheet and or one piece of wood, and just had to cut it up, paint it, put it together. Did you make those cuts yourself? I did. I'm not letting you go in too close because they're not the greatest measurements by any means. I am not a carpenter. I'm not a carpenter by any means.
So check this out. When I go to the Home Depot and I need something cut, I go ahead and have the measurements with me. And if you have the measurements with you, they got this great device. They'll put it in and they just run this saw through it a few times. It's done and over with. And it looks like I have these great cuts when I make stuff. I didn't cut that. Home Depot cut it for me. I mean, look, they're willing to do it. I'm willing to take advantage of it.
But it's not bad. I mean, I bought the strip black light. And then we just put a hole out the side and have it plugged into little Alexa plug, so I can tell her to turn it on and off. I can set it to a timer if I wanted to. I mean, come on, man, you gotta automate.
Too fancy. Done getting too fancy.
Automate, man.
No, done getting too fancy for me. So is that an actual LED light in there, or is it like LEDs in there?
It's an LED strip.
So is it a black light LED strip?
God,
I guess I've never heard of such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of such a thing. So have you picked up any new pops lately?
Lately, no. I've actually been getting a lot of boxes and stuff like that. I still just haven't opened up yet. I have some other pops that I've had my sister pick up recently that I haven't even. It's still in the closet. I haven't brought them out yet or really had a chance to look at them too much. And one of them was a big one. I think I already sent you a picture of it. I haven't been to the store pretty much at all. That's my only downside. I just have not been to the store.
Yeah, I think last time we talked, you told me that everybody was doing the hunting for you. That you'd been getting through your schoolwork and stuff.
Yeah, I've been getting through a lot of. I've just had so much stuff stacking on top of one thing after another, and got a lot of things going on over here in the Techbot household. And just trying to keep on keeping on, you know what I mean?
So I seen that you finally did the battle with your daughter. How did that go? Did you win that battle?
That was a lot of fun. She had a lot of fun. She was so nervous to start with, which is funny because she will literally, since I started this YouTube journey, sometimes if she's home when I'm filming, she actually sits there and just watches me. And then there are other times where literally she'll get a toy from the store, and as soon as we're getting home, she's leaning her little Amazon tablet she has up against something on the kitchen table and talking to it and making a video and stuff like that. So but she wants to do more, and I think we'll definitely do more in the future. It was a lot of fun. Definitely I got to work more on the pop and duos version of like we do with bouncing off each other. I'm just so used to doing my videos and taking control of the video and everything. And I probably could have, watching the playback, I probably could have let her, chime in a little bit more than I did. But, being the first one, it's all right.
Yeah,
Something to learn from.
It was the first one. It was still really cool. I think you should have let her win, though. I watched that and I thought, well, why didn't you let her win?
I
You were
wanted
supposed
to.
to, you were supposed to switch it real quick, or
I don't know what's in the boxes, so I have no idea. And what's funny is I went into the whole time going, man, I really want. I'm hoping in the back of my head she wins because my daughter's completely competitive, and I was hoping she'd win. I figured she had 3 pops, she should win. And then when I pulled out that one that was higher value, I was like, okay, I know. And I can't just switch them up on her. I already showed like which boxes are which and stuff like that. So it's all right. I got some plans for some future ones and going from there. But yeah, she definitely wants to do another one.
Yeah, so this is what you should have done is before you got to that spot, you were supposed to open them up, look real quick, and then tape the boxes back shut, and then hand her. That's what you should have done. No, I don't know.
But the mystery box game. The mystery box game is all about the reaction and not knowing what you got. I mean, I was actually, I think the most out of it, I was really surprised is the one I pulled. It wasn't even the high valued one; it was a low valued one. It was that Ready Player One because I'm like, I already need this one anyways. So this kind of works out. It just kind of, worked out for us. And so it's not bad.
No, it looked like a lot of fun. I'm glad that you finally got to that. What did you think about the new black light drop? What did you think about that one? Carnage.
I wanted it. I mean, me especially the black light box. I mean, if I find some more, I'm going to have to start stacking black light boxes all over here and shit. But I really wanted. Unfortunately, I know what you got.
Go ahead, because I just totally forgot about something. I had in my mind last night that I was going to stay up till midnight, and I totally forgot about this. So keep going real quick.
Well, between you, me, and JKL, we were in communication. Because a lot of times when things drop, I know the 3 of us try to keep each other in the loop about things, but. I was prepared. My wife and my daughter were upstairs. They were doing schoolwork. They were doing schoolwork, and then I started doing some schoolwork. And the next thing I know, I look up and it's 2:07. I'm like, oh, damn. I popped on and everything was gone. I'm like, I was disappointed.
Lucky enough, I didn't have that one. So, I waited on there and I picked up, but I was also there 15 minutes early, just kind of waiting and chatting to you and JKL. So it's horrible that you got distracted, but I didn't really have any problems with it. But this is what I'm going to say. I didn't use my cell phone. So the last 2 times that I've done this, I didn't use my cell phone and I got through both times. I got in, purchased what I wanted to purchase, and got out. I seriously think that it has something to do with your cell phone.
It's possible.
Hanging up, and I'm just convinced of it.
When I was successful at SDCC, I was using my computer, and sad part is, ever since SDCC, I have completely failed at life on any virtual cons. To be honest with you, but that's all right. There's as we see, Funko's just going to continue doing these, and it's just gonna continue. So. It's all about different things and stuff like that. But I really wanted that. But personally, my own perspective on this, and I know JKL and Popped Heat had talked about this just the other day. This Carnage is different than these original 5 black lights over here. Those were Target. Target was only going to sell so many.
Right. This
is a Funko Shop item.
Yes. So
how many times have we seen some of the Funko Shop items come back?
Well, here's what I think I kind of said this to you too. Just hold your breath on this one because they always have a second wave, and sometimes you see a third wave, and even Target had a second wave. So this, to me, was just the first wave of them releasing it, and I think we'll see it go on their shop. Just like you said a second ago, I think we're going to see it go on their shop. If you didn't manage to pick that one up, I would just wait a little while and give them a chance to get it on their site. But I'm trying to find, and I think that we missed out on the Batman black light pop, and I'm kind of wishing that I didn't. And I see that Chase is over there talking about it, and I can't seem to find it on Hot Topic right now. And I never really found an official release.
When was
date
that
about
a drop?
Well, I think that it was supposed to have dropped today, which would have been midnight last night, right? If I'm thinking about this correctly, that's when it would have happened, right? I mean, because anytime they have their drops for the day, that's actually like at midnight, right? And if you weren't pre-ordering it at midnight, then you're just not going to pre-order it. I don't see it on Hot Topic's site, which you could say that they sold out and they took it down, but Hot Topic doesn't normally take them down. So normally when they sell out, they leave it on there, and when you try and buy it, it just tells you that it's sold out. So I don't really see it on their site. So I'm kind of hoping that someone over in the chat would like to tell us what's going on with that. You want to do a shout out real quick? Maybe they can help me out on that real quick.
Yeah, give me 1 second. All right. Sorry, I'm monitoring multiple things here. You know.
Yes, no, that's cool. Yes.
So yeah, let's get to the chat shot. We know we had some people on here real early. We had Ryan Stetson was here real early. Hopefully he came back if he's still here. You know, hey
Ryan, hey, what's up, bud?
Of course, we always got our buddy JKL, our
JKL
fact checker.
I was hoping JKL could tell me when these things dropped. I know that he has the facts.
Oh yeah, he probably has it there. We got John Lockwood in the house. Welcome back, John. I appreciate it. We got Andy Roberts. Welcome to the show. Says, hey guys, happy Halloween. Me and my boy Aiden are chilling, ready to enjoy another live stream. Hey, thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Where else? Oh, we've got Hail to the Kingdom. We've got Chase's Kingdom. And we've got our good buddy Jose goes pop hunting. Definitely get a chance to check him out. He does some fantastic stuff out there, and he's very enthusiastic. I love his enthusiasm in his videos, by the way. He always has so much enthusiasm. We've also got Unbox with Bruce. Unbox with Bruce.
That sounds like a new one. Is that a new one?
I haven't seen Unbox with Bruce, but hey, welcome to the show. I appreciate it.
Wayne's wife,
we've got Wayne's wife joining us. Wayne's wife, you should have put the eyeliner on him. I swear it would have made it a lot better.
Fire the cannons. Jeez, how you doing, bud?
We got Kenneth Bird. What's going on? I think that's where we're at so far. I know we've got more than this that's watching right now. Just not everyone's commented, but that's okay. If you guys have any questions about anything that we do on here, please feel free to jump into the chat and be part of the live stream.
Hey, so while we were doing that, I had a chance to kind of scroll through Hot Topic, and
hold on. Here's our show fact checker. It says Blacklight Batman is on the Hot Topic site.
I don't know.
It's not available for shipping. It can't be added to cart yet.
Well, what is the release date on that one, JKO? Can you look at that real quick, because they'll give you a release date on those, and that's always the date that it's in the stores, right? And so here's the crazy thing about the whole Carnage. When they drop Carnage doesn't fit into what they had going on, right? So they had Captain America, and they had a lot of what you would consider the Avengers, right? I mean, you had Doctor Strange, Thor, Spider-Man, and I would think Avengers when I see that. And to me, Carnage felt very out of place.
Well, I think personally, my idea, I mean, there's a huge following for Carnage, nonetheless. There's a huge following for Carnage. Venom. And the fact that the next Venom movie Venom 2 is going to be bringing Carnage up, which I actually think was it Woody Harrelson playing. I always forget the character's name. But anyways, playing this guy, it's fantastic. I absolutely love the trailers. I think it's great, and I'm excited for Venom 2. But I think that's where they're kind of going. But I mean, nonetheless, Carnage has a huge following. But I think there were again people confused, and I think that Funko was dumb to do this. I don't know why they want to get into this side merchandise stuff. Just sell your pops. This is what people want. Why are you going to put black light posters
hate it
up there of also characters that you're not having in black light, like Rocket Raccoon.
That even
and Venom.
confused me, if you remember, because I said to you, it looks like they're going to have the raccoon too, and you said no, that's just a poster.
Yeah, but remember, you're easily confused because you think Miles Morales is Spider-Man.
He is Spider-Man. He's in the Spider.
He's not Spider-Man.
Spider suit. He's in a Spidey suit. It's Spider-Man.
No, he's got the black suit. He's got the black suit. He doesn't have the blue and
he's still Spider-Man
and red.
To me, he's in the Spidey suit. He's Spider-Man. But
Frog Prince, what's up?
Going back to that,
and we'll be popping. What's going on, man?
Did you also realize that Carnage was the same mold as one of the con exclusives? So that's the exact same mold as, I want to say it was either 2019 or 2018 Carnage in the con exclusive. And I can't remember if it was a San Diego con or if it was a New York con, but I know for a fact that it was a con exclusive that they just turned into a blacklight pop. I mean, and you know how
possible.
You know how I feel about
but I think that Carnage one was a little bit bigger on it though. And I do want to point out, I think Will had said I want that blue black light Venom. That was not a pop. That was a poster only.
Yeah.
They only did a black light poster of Venom. The only black light pop that was released on Funko's website was the Carnage one.
So let me ask you
again. The poster screwed everybody up.
Do you think they're trying to tell us something? Do you think that's an Easter egg as to saying, hey, you're going to see these pops? You're going to see the Venom. You're going to see the Rocket Raccoon. I mean, it is because I think that's what that is, right? When I see that, I think, well, they're trying to give me some foresight as to what's coming.
Well, I looked up this week too because I was curious, because you know me, I've been saying since they brought these blacklight pops out that, again, even I can even see through the film. This image of these pops do it no justice.
No, they know.
These things look fantastic, and I absolutely loved every bit of them. But I've been one sitting here going, when are they going to bring out more black lights? And they are great. But there's actually a whole Reddit boards, and there's a whole groups on Facebook of bring more black lights. I'm not the only one. There's so many people that want these black light pops, and I think that the posters, just like I think Will was saying, and also JK was saying, is they're coming.
I think that we're going to see a wave of them. I think that we're about to see a huge wave of them with the dropping of the DC blacklight pops. They just released the Carnage. I think that we're really about to see a big wave of them, kind of like we've seen with the albums, the vinyls. I mean, they're pushing out these new waves, and I think that we're going to start seeing a lot of them.
Now, when I'd have to see this Batman one, but I think if the black lights start to be a thing. Originally, I was saying I don't care if it's DC, I would get it. However, I think, okay, maybe I may be a little, me, Marvel versus DC. If they start releasing a lot more Marvel, my focus is going to be on the Marvel black lights over the DC. To be honest with you, I'm going to be 100% honest. That's just what it is. Me, I'm going to go after the Marvel characters always first.
Well, they're kind of forcing us into picking and choosing with all the things that they're coming out with, and I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. I almost wish that they would pump their brakes a little bit and give us as collectors a chance to get our hands on them. But I think that you made a valid point the other day while we were talking. They might honestly be doing this for the bots. I mean, you can't afford to buy stuff forever. I mean, if they continuously push the new stuff out every day, you can't continuously pile that stuff in your kitchen or living room or spare closet until you have no more space. I mean, so there might be a rhyme to the reason there that I don't see, that you pointed out, and I think that it's a valid point, but I don't know if that's the case, but I do wish that they would slow down just a few steps. I mean, because they threw out, they had one pop album that was in the prep to being released for a year. Let's just say a year, because that's about what it was. And then now they just dropped 4 of them in 2 weeks. They're like, oh, well, here's 4 more. Take these. Whoa, slow down, because I want to collect all of them. But if you continuously throw them at me like that, there's no way that it's ever going to happen.
Well, I think what happened, and by the way, JKL, Cletus Cassidy, that's what the actual character's name is. That is Carnage, who Woody Harrelson is playing. Thank you, bud. I always appreciate the heads up on that. But I think it almost was that I think Funko put out because they weren't sure how the reception of the black lights were going to be. and maybe the fact of how fast they went, how popular they got, how high in value. And I didn't even realize how high in value these things have gotten because I really haven't paid attention since I had them all. But I mean, the value on these black light pops have gone up pretty high. I mean, the Spider-Man one itself, because that was supposed to be the exclusive or the rare or whatever it is, that thing's up to $80 right now.
You know, I didn't catch them when they were in pre-order, and it's so hard to get things pre-ordered through Target that it's almost impossible anyway. So it's I don't really understand how Target and Hot Topic announced their pre-orders because it doesn't seem like Funko really announces them. But when they hit, I mean, they're sold out. So I don't know if people just stare at their site. I mean, if somebody here can tell me how you find out what their exclusives are going to be and when they release, that would be pretty awesome, because I seen a bunch of rumors of the Batman, but I never really seen any official, like, this is officially what's going to happen, right? So it's so strange to me how those two companies release their stuff anyway. So I don't really know. I seen some comments over there talking about the posters. I'm with you on that. I wish they would stay away from those markets. Stay away from the clothing markets. Stay away from the poster markets.
Just put out Funkos and give us good quality amounts.
I'm gonna say collecting vinyls, right? Because I like the
get rid of the Dorbs. I did find out they are still manufacturing Dorbs.
Yes, absolutely.
I think those are. I mean, come on. How many people are actually going after Dorbs?
Well, see, I like the sodas. I'm not going after Dorbs. I could see those I see those as being a very, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say the words I want to say, but I see those as being a very younger, like in my crib type thing. I mean, I don't really see those as being that much of a collectible, but I know a lot of people get into them. So I don't really want to say that. So it's to each their own, right? So I'm really into the sodas, but I know that some people aren't. So I wish they would just stick to the collectible vinyls, right? Just stay into the vinyls and let other people design clothes, let other people make posters, let other people do that stuff.
And Chase did make a good point. I did forget about this because I do remember seeing these that they did do. Five Nights at Freddy were the black light testers. They did do a run of Five Nights at Freddy first.
Oh, I guess I didn't know that.
I forgot all about that, and I do remember looking that up. And Will, if this actually becomes true, I will be on board to get them first thing.
Well, I would imagine that's going to come true here at some point. So I guess I'm going to get off the black light stuff a little bit. And we started this segment last week, and I know there's a lot of people that really enjoy this segment. What is your mystery box pop of the week? Have you got one?
Oh, I've got a good one. One I'm debating on if I'm going to get it myself. But I'm actually going to play. It's going to play a little video for you on this one. This is off my Instagram site, and if you are not a follower of this man yet, you need to be. This isn't. He was a YouTuber. He stopped doing YouTube a little while back, and he's really gotten into doing. I think he drops a few videos every now and then, but he's really gotten into the whole mystery box game. He buys up collections, stuff like that. He does like 2 or 3 runs of mystery boxes a month, and they're limited quantities. But nonetheless, let's add this in here. Well, let's get rid of this real fast before we get things confused. So this is my Instagram, and this is, I know it doesn't say much, but up there, this is Mikey Vintage. If anybody has seen him on YouTube or on YouTube before, that's who that is. This is Mikey Vintage. Here's his Instagram right up here. Follow him. He is dropping a box tomorrow, and it's only, I think, 20 box run, but I'm going to go ahead and give him his little introduction here.
Got to share the sound.
Did I not have the sound?
No.
I don't even know how did I screw that one up? Let's see.
Vinyl figure, thank you. But so this is a costume that I've actually ran for 3 years now, and it just worked out really well. The first year I won a couple of Halloween contests, and I just kind of kept it going. Now I have I'm gonna actually do 2 other costumes before Halloween's over with. So we're gonna go live tomorrow at 3:30. If you're really into the Mandalorian, it's gonna be me, JKL, Mr. Techbot, Fet Frequency, Discovery Bay Comics. I mean, come check us out over there. I will be dressed as something different then, and then I'll be dressed as something different in the afternoon as well. Do we have that worked out, bud?
I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna try one more time. If not, then we'll scrap the audio. Are you getting anything?
No, we're still not getting any audio.
All right. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with that for the next time. I didn't know that was a thing, but he does have it all right here. He says he's gonna put. This is gonna be actually his first guaranteed box. Says, guys, put a guaranteed box because he wants to make you feel all warm and toasty. Says tomorrow, viewers, he's got their $30 for 2 pops, which I think is a great deal. Guaranteed value, 2 pops in each one box purchase. And if you get on his Instagram tonight, he's supposed to be dropping the image pick, the pick that everyone goes for of what the high reach is. When I think his high one is a Star Wars pop, Commander something. But it's supposed to be, that's a high value one for this one. But it's going to be, like I said, it's $30, and I believe that's shipped. That's priced with shipping.
It's pretty awesome. And I know that you've actually done a couple of those now, right? You pulled a pretty awesome Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I got
out of all of that. I mean,
awesome.
The box had a little damage to it, but other than that, it's really awesome pop, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I love it. And like I said, he's honest. He does them the right way, and he enjoys it. He's really enjoying what he's doing, and he's not out there to scam anybody. He's enjoying what he's doing. Making a little bit for himself, and I don't blame him. You got to keep that game going. But he's been putting together some great boxes, and they're limited. So 20 boxes, guys, 20 boxes. And, this is about the typical runs he does. So definitely get on him, follow him on Instagram, and wait to hear the announcement because he's going to be dropping it tomorrow. So that is my mystery box of the week.
That sounds pretty awesome. And like I said, I know that you've done a couple of those already, and you've had some pretty good success with them. We've actually went live with Mikey before with Dankster TV. Yes, Dankster TV, right? We went live with him. Pretty good guy. He kind of like slowed down on his YouTube though over some tags or bings or something, and he just kind of moved into the mystery boxes. It's, to me, it only seems natural, right, to move into something else, Funko related, because he had a pretty good Funko channel to begin with. And do you think
I did? Yeah.
Do you think he's going to come back and do that?
I don't think so. I think he's. I've had some good conversations with Mikey, and definitely if you guys go over and subscribe to Mikey, which again I don't have it in the description down below, but it's Pugs Pizza Pop Punk. Again, I'll put it right up here real fast so you guys can see. Pugs Pizza Pop Punk. If you guys go over to him, definitely send him a message. Tell him Mr. Techbot and WayneKo said hi. And but he's a great guy. I don't think he's going to get back into the YouTube game. I've seen him post like 1 or 2 videos since he kind of stopped the channel because he was getting, I think he had a couple copyright problems. And
yeah, I know he got a couple of bings here and there, but I don't, I didn't really know exactly.
I think he's having too much fun. I think he's having too much fun doing these mystery boxes. He seems like he's much more upbeat. Because sometimes, depending on a person's situation, doing YouTube can be kind of stressful because you got to work to make sure you got content and something to show and stuff like that. So it's not a cheap thing to do by any means, but it can be a stress. But he seems to be having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I'm real happy for him.
I'm glad that he found something that he enjoys doing. And you're right. Look, YouTube can be pretty stressful if you allow it to be. I think at some point you just have to say that I'm not going to allow it to be. Fox, it was good to see you, bud. Have a good night. So I think that our thing for the day is going to be the top 10 horror pops.
Oh, and actually, Fox did have it. He did announce it that the top pop for that run is General Grievous. Have no idea what the value is.
I don't
haven't even
either.
looked it
I
up
was
yet.
hoping you were
But
going to say something.
if he says that's his top pop, it's going to be a good value.
Right. So, like I said, I know that our topic for the day was going to be the top 10 horror pops. I don't really get into horror pops, but I was looking in my collection. I'm kind of trying to reorganize all of my collection right now and kind of put my Simpsons with my Simpsons and my Marvel with my Marvel. And I guess that's something that you start to do as your collection gets bigger, right? You start trying to like get things where it only makes sense for them to be. So I actually have 5 or 6 horror pops, and I guess that kind of depends on do you consider Hannibal Lecter as a horror pop? Is that something that you would consider?
Hannibal Lecter would be a horror pop, yeah.
I mean, would that be a horror film? I mean, Hannibal Lecter. I think that it is, but it.
It's to me, it's a horror pop because you're talking in Hannibal, but that was also tied into Silence of the Lambs. So I mean, that's all would be considered in the horror genre. Hold on, I was just reading a comment real quick. I that caught my eye real fast. OTT with G, welcome to the chat, but I appreciate it. It says truly blind mystery boxes where the supplier doesn't know what is in which box is a lot of fun. And he does do that. He boxes them all up and then he numbers them all up. I mean, he mixes them up. Trust me, he doesn't know. When you pick your number for which one, he doesn't know what you're getting sent out. So he's not stacking anything by any means. So definitely hit him up. But anyways, yes, we're on to horror stuff. I would say, that's definitely in it. But when I think classic horror, and I know if Chase is still in here, I know he's a big horror fan on a lot of that stuff. But I mean, for me, I think old school. When I hear horror movies, I think old school. I think Jason Voorhees. I think Freddy Krueger. I think Michael Myers. That's where my mind goes. I know there's a new genre of, I think, what I would call gore horror, which is like Saw.
Yeah, I think Saw and stuff like that's kind of the stuff that makes me get away from horror, only because it starts getting they start getting a little too detailed with the gore, and to me stuff like that just doesn't play well on my imagination. But the old stuff like the Halloween, the Michael Myers, the Jason, like you said, I really enjoy that stuff, and even like the classic It. I could probably sit down and watch just in my spare time, but it's not something that I really super get into. But I was reading that Vinyl Figures sent the Hannibal Lecter on the trolley. So I have 3 of the Hannibal Lecters. I have one of them where he's just holding the club. The second variants to it where he has blood splatter, which to me should have been a chase, where he's got blood on his face and it's all over him. And then they're on the trolley. So I got 3 of those Hannibal Lecters, and I tend to really like the Hannibal Lecters for some reason. They tend to be cool.
And I love this point. Vinyl Figure fan says, eating a dude's face is horror.
It's horror,
yes,
right?
horror.
I agree with that. I think the best part of his movies though is where he's like eating the brains. That's one of the best parts of the movie.
Oh yeah, with fava beans.
With fava beans, yeah, it's insane.
I agree with you too. This one is a great one. OTT Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's a classic. It's to me that was more of a B film. But it was definitely a great classic horror type movie. But I mean, that would be talking, if you get into that, you'd be talking like The Leprechaun. I mean, I would even think The Blob. And then you got to go into real old school, which is what I grew up with, because my mom was an old school horror person, which is you're talking about Alfred Hitchcock. We'd start getting into Alfred Hitchcock. The guy was a genius.
Was that considered horror too?
Yeah, the Birds, Bates Motel.
Alfred Hitchcock was awesome.
Alfred Hitchcock was awesome. He was doing the multiple camera angles that he did was so far ahead of his time of what he was doing. I mean, he was just a genius, and he will still go down, I think, as one of the greatest horror creators. Directors, whatever you want to call it, to this day, at least in my eyes. And I don't think enough young kids appreciate a great Alfred Hitchcock film.
So do you have those top 10 pops there, that page there somewhere?
Yes, I do. Let me bring that up real fast. Here we go. So
I've never seen the Killer Clowns.
It's an interesting movie. It's almost more comical than anything.
The pops look okay. I mean, but I don't know. That's look. I really liked like Tales from the Crypt and things like that. So Alfred Hitchcock, all of those are
that's classic.
Those are just really like awesome stuff. So this is different. Is this considered?
This is what I would say. We got this from from Ranker. They ranked, I think, their top 10. And again, all these are going to be subjective, to what people like and stuff like that. But this is a classic pop, and I will eventually look for this because I think this is absolutely great. The image of Jaws eating the captain of the boat, Captain Quinn, it's just a fantastic pop.
Do you have any Jaws pops?
I do not. Doesn't mean I don't want them.
So I have Jaws with the what was it, the what is it, oxygen tank in his mouth?
Oh, the oxygen tank.
I have that Jaws with the oxygen tank, but I don't know that I consider Jaws to be horror neither. I mean, I guess that it would have been a very classic version of horror.
Well, right? You got to think if you got horror, you got something that's gonna, remind you. You look at the way the film was. The film was that you wander around the water and he jumps out. If it's going to be something that's going to make you jump out of your seat and put a surprise to you, it's going to be horror in some way.
Well, I can see how Jaws would be horror. It just, to me, it doesn't fit the dark corner thing jumping out and just scaring you. So it's a different kind of horror, but I can absolutely see where it is horror. I mean, I can see that one. And
I agree with you, Chase. The Killer Clowns pops should have been black light. Those would have been fantastic in a black light. No, that was maybe they will eventually. Who knows?
I think that we're about to start seeing a whole lot of black light pops. I mean, if we're being fair.
I think 2021 is going to be a big wave of black light.
Yeah, I think that they're getting geared up for it now, and they're just going to continue pushing them out now.
Mm-hmm. All right, and by the way, Funko, I'm trying to keep I'm trying to do different. Everyone I keep seeing new that pops up, I'm trying to at least get them on here. Funko PDX, welcome. I know we saw where I just clicked on Jesse Lou. What's up, man? And James Evan, welcome. Leatherface is your favorite. Oh, that's another great. Do you remember which movie Leatherface was from?
I don't remember which movie Leatherface was from. Well, that Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There you go.
That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It took me a second, but that was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was another really good classic horror movie. I have Georgie from it, but I do not have Georgie with the severed arm. Now that must be the Chase variants.
I have Georgie that's for sale. In fact, I've got two of them
for sale.
I'm. And by the way, this is not a plug. Anyways, here's my thing. I love horror. There's particular things that have been done in horror that I will never watch again. It is one of them. I've seen the classic. I have 100% no interest in seeing the two newer ones. Another one would be Pet Sematary. I just won't do it again. And although I hate the pop. It's just weird. I hate the pop, but I will watch Annabelle movie and all the Conjuring series all day. I absolutely love them, but I do not allow, I made one rule with my wife when we started having kids that if we have girls, they're not allowed to have any of those porcelain dolls. They creep me out.
What you're supposed to do. All right. So next time your kid's around, I need to have a conversation with her, because what she's supposed to do is take her dolls and take black paint and black out all around the eyes and then just set them up in the room till they look like they're staring at you whenever you come in. That's what you're supposed to do with them. I mean, I read an article one time that said that's the proper way to play with them. I'm trying to tell you that you should really help her out with that. No,
no, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not thinking that that's a good idea. I mean,
no.
That's definitely something that she should give a shot to. What do you got?
Sorry, I'm jumping around here real quick. JKL has got me all flustered. I can't remember which screen I've got on what thing.
Oh man, so I don't have the Georgie with the severed arm. It's a pretty cool pop, but I don't have that one.
I'll give it that.
Yeah, I don't have that one. It's a pretty cool one though.
Um, let's see which one we got next. We've got again same thing. Pennywise.
So
He looks cool.
let me ask you a question,
I
and I
hate
guess
clowns.
I'm going to ask everybody this question that's here. Which one is your favorite Pennywise? This one or the classic? Now the pop vinyl, not the movies, the pop vinyl. Which one is your favorite?
I can't have a basis on the movies because I haven't seen any of the two new ones. Um, if I was going to go by what I've known, which is the only movie I've seen, which is the classic one, I'd say the classic. But I think that the new Pennywise has a much better scare appeal to him than the old one. The old one had more like the Bozo the Clown type of look to him. The new Pennywise, I think he has a great look to him. I don't want any of them. I will not buy any Pennywise. I will not put him on my shelf. But I think he's got a great look to him.
Well, see, I don't know that this one's more creepy than the old one. I think, and that's kind of why I asked you that, to see what you were going to say. And I'm kind of, I see a OTT with G over here is commenting that the new one's definitely creepier. I think that the old one, to me, is a little bit more creepy because it gives me a more sinister feeling. To whereas this guy jumps out from behind the corner, I'm going to punch him in the face. The other one jumps out from behind the corner. My brain's going to go in a lot of different directions trying to honestly figure out what is going on. I mean, so there's a difference to me as to what's going on.
I agree. I think that this Pennywise just has more substance. I
agree with you there. I like that classic look of the old one. There's something about that classic look that just, to me, would make me question reality for a minute.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, the classic Bozo the Clown looking Pennywise. I mean, it's put me off from clowns altogether. I stopped even going to the circus as a child because I hated clowns. I just don't like them.
Well, to this day, I don't have a problem with clowns. I mean, it's they don't scare me or creep me out in any way. But this image of Pennywise really pisses me off more than scares me.
You know what type of anxiety a person that hates clowns had when they brought back the very first the first one of the new series, and there was an entire year of the entire crazy clown craze.
Yeah, there was
wandering around places as a crazy clown. Whether they're doing a good, bad, or I don't know.
Now, see, I kind of thought that was awesome. I found some humor in that. I mean, would you have honestly ran from somebody that was walking at you dressed like a clown?
No,
I wouldn't have honestly ran.
I would go the opposite direction as fast as I could.
Well, I don't know. I've never had a real problem with clowns, and to me, though, it's the classic one that I wouldn't want to see. I mean, at least with that one, I knew he was coming to kill me. The other one, I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, this one I want. This is Carrie, of course, and this is the pig's blood prank Carrie, where of course, the classic scene where she has the blood dropped on her, and then she goes absolutely, postal on everybody.
I don't have a clue.
You've never seen Carrie?
I've never seen Carrie.
Such a classic film. Great film.
I mean, so looking at the pop, it looks to me like somebody spilt paint on it. So, I mean, I'm glad that you told me that was pig's blood, or I would have been totally confused.
And the thing is, I think they could have put more blood on her, because if you ever go back and see the classic image of the original, did they do a remake? I can't remember. But the original classic of just the blood coming down, I mean, it was all over her face, everything like that. It was just a great classic look. And like I said, then she completely went postal on him and killed everybody at the prom. It was great.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show at all.
It's a good one. What did we say? I would take you're also not a fan of Insane Clown Posse. No, not really. No, not really.
I'm not a fan of them, not because they're dressed as clowns. I'm just not really. I'm just not really that into their music.
Now this one again. This is another one.
This is another one that I don't know nothing about.
You've never seen Pet Sematary?
Never seen Pet Sematary. Not a day in my life.
Now, mind you, there are two of them out there. There is of course, the classic original one that I know a lot of people have seen, and it's not so much that it scares me. I won't watch it again for the fact that come on, anybody that I can't even get the words out to explain how I feel about that film. I know some of y'all in this chat has seen this thing before. Tell me what your feelings on Pet Cemetery is. There's a thing about it because again, it's talking about your animals getting killed and trying to bring your animal back from the dead, but instead your animal goes completely psycho. It starts killing everybody and everything. There's something kind of sad about it, to be honest with you.
I don't.
And,
don't know. Never really sat down and watched it. Maybe I should put that one on the list of things that I should sit down and watch. Maybe one day.
But there was a remake done a couple years ago, which was completely horrible. Really had nothing to do with the book. And what that was Stephen King has been there's I can't remember the act, but there is an actual legislation for licensing rights, where when you give licensing rights, they have it for so long. And I think with films, it was something like 31 years. It was a really odd number. I can't remember the actual, but it was a certain extent. And that film, no, maybe it was 21 years. I believe that's what it was. And Stephen King was about to get the rights back. So that newer Pet Cemetery that really was horrible, it was a money grab. That's all it was a cash money grab for them to try to make as much money on that license before it went back to Stephen King. Because Stephen King has already gone on, because he said it for many years since he hated The Shining, that he didn't want to do licensing rights for his books anymore. And so I don't think he's going to release them anymore. So a lot of them, like the Nightmare on Elm Street, we'll never see another one because the Wes Craven estate has already said they've gotten those licensing rights back, and they've already said that they will not let the license go for anybody. So I'm kind of sad about that because that's my favorite horror character of all time. But I don't know. Pet Cemetery. I guess it's kind of like Cujo. It's really, I don't know. I'm not. And when it comes to animals, I don't really dig them.
It sounds like a strange one to me. Some kind of like animal zombies running around eating people. Just seems weird.
Basically.
Just seems weird. Just sounds to me like a bad like Zombieland movie. You just got to double tap.
Except for that one was comedic, so I don't mind that one. This, unfortunately, they did just release, or they're releasing the actual pops of these. I don't know why they didn't. Why this image is in the pop section of this, but the two girls from The Shining.
The Shining's a good movie. That's a good movie.
But let's be perspective on this. Are we talking classic Shining?
We're talking classic Shining.
The remake TV series Shining.
You know, I'm talking classic Shining. Classic
Jack
Shining.
Nicholson made that movie.
Yes, he made that movie. Classic Shining's the only way you can go. I didn't even know that they had a series of it. That would seem ridiculous without Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah, again, Stephen King hated the movie. They did miss a lot of great plot lines from the actual book, but I think what made that movie so great was Jack. If they cast any other person, I don't think it would have been as good as it was.
No, he definitely made that movie.
I mean, that was great, great film, and those girls are creepy as hell. But I do believe there is a double pack of these girls in Funko. If it hasn't already released, it's supposed to be releasing very soon. What we got next? We got
this is one of my. I was just talking about this guy.
Just talking about this one. This is Prison Escape Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, so this guy has a variance. He has another one that looks almost just like this, except he's not holding the club up. It's kind of more sitting at his side. He doesn't have the blood splatter, but they made it the exact same number, the exact same pop. I think that one should have been the chase, and I don't know why that they didn't make that a chase variance. Why they just released them is one had a little variance without calling it a chase. I think that was an odd moment for Funko because they didn't just do it with him. They did it with a couple of pops all right there at the same time. But I managed to grab both of them. Both of those hit my local GameStop. I picked both of them up right away. Look, I love all your Hannibal Lecter stuff.
That's a classic one to grab.
That's very classical one.
And of course, I love the movie. I hate the Funko Pop. It's on here. I moved her to the garage.
You did move her to the garage. She's
I
probably
did
sitting
move her
there
to the
somewhere.
garage.
You did
I
not.
moved her to the garage.
She's
She's
probably
down
on the shelf behind you.
Nope.
It's okay. Look,
when I completely redid these shelves a couple weeks ago, I made sure to give that one to my wife, and she put that down in the garage.
that's
I hate
a
that
really cool looking pop. I mean, if we're being honest, that is a really cool looking pop. I've never seen this movie either, though. You know, like I've told you that I'm not really like
Well,
into horror films.
Annabelle is. I mean, it is actually a real thing. And if you see you got to actually see the Conjuring movie, the original Conjuring one of the new ones, and I think the Conjuring series is fantastic. The Nun movie is a little weird, but the whole Conjuring series with Annabelle movies and stuff like that, fantastic. The original Conjuring one is the best. I do recommend seeing that. That'll kind of tie into Annabelle a little bit within there. But what people have done with this pop, and I should have brought some images up, but you can find them on the internet. People have actually made there's a real Annabelle doll, and she's in a box that's locked up. You can't open it, stuff like that. I think Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures has tried to buy her before, but has not gotten her yet.
I can't search my time.
My phone's talking. My watch is talking to me.
So what do you mean this is a real Annabelle? But so there's a real
Annabelle. Annabelle's a real doll.
What's the deal with Annabelle?
It was a Raggedy. It was basically like a Raggedy Ann doll, and it was known. Was it? Trying to remember the couple. Back in the day, they were one of the most well known. Like ghost hunters, paranormal people. They worked with the church, and they helped do exorcisms and stuff like that. And they grabbed her, and a family had her, and every time something would happen to the little girl that owned her, someone would get hurt, someone would get killed or something, and they believe that there is truly a dark entity within this doll. And that's again why I don't do dolls, because there is actually truth. Okay, mind you, this is all skepticism and what you believe in. I have a weird fascination with paranormal stuff, but I do believe that souls can get trapped in dolls. That's just my own personal perspective.
I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other.
I think that's why I have such a problem with dolls.
Sounds creepy.
I've seen things like this, and I've seen many different things of stuff like that. I don't know how y'all feel over there in the chat, but I know Pop Culture says dolls creep me out. Random monsters or clowns don't really get me.
What you need to do.
Dolls are creepy.
This is how you break your doll problem. All right. So you go to your local thrift store and you buy 50 or 60 of them for 50 cents a piece. And then you go get some black paint and you just smear it out over their eyes and then just place them in random places all throughout your house. Look, it'll fix in a week flat, whatever problem you have with them, because you'll grow a tolerance to it. If not, it'll still be funny, and you should film it for all of us to watch anyways.
And I won't do that because again, I won't do anything with dolls. But true story, I actually just read this the other day. A couple years ago when Ozzy Osbourne was doing those adventures with his son, and they were going around to different places and filming like a reality show. Well, they went to the original factory where the Good Guys doll was made. Of course, that's where the Chucky series comes from. And they bought an exact replica. Well, after that Chucky doll was bought, it's like he realized he hurt himself. He had to keep skipping tours because he would get sick, he would get hurt himself, or he'd do this or that. He had all this bad luck. And mind you, it's probably all in one's head, but he had all this bad luck after he bought this stupid doll. So what does Ozzy Osbourne do in the greatest of Ozzy Osbourne fashions? He blows the damn thing up.
I don't blame him. Just get rid of it at that point. I see a John over there says that his wife is making dolls and there's little body parts everywhere. That is absolutely awesome. What you should do
I would have
though.
run out of that house by now.
What you should do though is you should have a little bit of fun with this, John. Listen to me. Halloween is like tomorrow. You should take these doll parts and just while she goes to sleep, set them up everywhere in the house, and then take one of them and make him put him in a corner and make him look like he just threw the little body parts everywhere as he was walking through the house, and just kind of sit him there in front of him, kind of like Hansel and Gretel, but leave Hansel and Gretel there to be found. That's what I would do.
No,
That's what I can do.
And I see. I don't have a problem with like things like Toy Story figures, like Tori said. There's nothing with that. But and I know even the original Annabelle doll, like this image of Annabelle that they use in movies was more of a porcelain doll with a porcelain head and stuff like that. But the original Annabelle was actually a like Raggedy Ann stuffed plush item. And that's what it was. But for some reason, it's the porcelain dolls. If you ever seen a porcelain doll of anything, they have black eyes already, and it looks like they just want to suck your soul out.
I don't know. I'm gonna send you some for Christmas though.
No,
I'm gonna make sure I make them look a little bit more creepy for you though.
That's going return to sender.
I'm gonna make sure I make them look a little bit more creepy though.
Now, this one is a classic. This one is an absolute. Where are we on this?
Fast and no, the other way. There you go.
So this is an absolute classic. Evil Dead.
So I don't have this one.
Favorite movies.
I want this one.
Ash. Well, this isn't off of an Evil. I don't even think. No, they've done a line of Evil Dead pops, but this is off the Ash versus Evil Dead series that they did. And absolutely fantastic series.
It's a great series.
And Bruce Campbell, I love Bruce Campbell. The guy is absolutely fantastic. He is funny, and
But that's kind of what makes Ash versus Evil Dead is that the gore is so far over the top that it's funny. I mean, it's funny when someone sits there and bleeds like squirting blood everywhere for 5 minutes straight while they're talking. I mean, it's what I guess you would call it like a horror comedy. It's just hysterical. I watched that entire like Ash versus Evil Dead from beginning to end. I think I binge watched that like in 2 weeks off of Netflix. It's an absolute great series.
Well, even the original one, the original Evil Dead, and then I think they had Army of Darkness after that. I mean, it's great. It slides right on that level of comedy horror.
It's seriously like a comedy horror, and it is hysterical. And that was one of my favorite series until I like ran out of like series to watch for a really long time. If you haven't checked that out, you really should go check that out. You'll laugh till you just can't stand it.
Sorry, I'm laughing at pop culture. It says, "Geez, I'm home alone. Y'all get creeping me out."
No, pop culture. It's okay.
The dolls behind him. And then, but I agree with Chase. I think they need to do a Army of the Dead pop. I think that would be fantastic.
I don't exactly know what an Army of the Dead pop is.
Well, you haven't seen a Army of Darkness?
No.
Oh, that was you have to see Army of Darkness because remember have you seen the original Evil Dead?
I have seen the original Evil Dead, yes.
Well, remember at the end when and again, if you guys haven't seen the original Evil Dead, I do recommend it, but here's a spoiler, by the way. In the original one, he gets sucked into that hole with the car and everything at the end. Well, this is Army of Darkness is what happened to him after he got sucked into the hole.
Oh, so it's a whole nother like movie off of Evil Dead, right? I could see that. I could see that. The series kind of takes you in that direction too, and it's a really good one. That's one of my.
Is a lot of people have a misconception with Evil Dead because they did have an Evil Dead 1 and an Evil Dead 2. They were basically the same movie.
Yeah, they were basically the same thing.
The only difference was Evil Dead 1 was done with very little money. It was done very low budget, and then somebody saw it and wanted to put more money back into it. So Evil Dead 2 was basically just a remake of the first one with more money.
Right. They're basically the same film. It's a great show though. What do we have after him?
I think we are up to number 10. Here's the last one. We have Leatherface.
Leatherface. The Leatherface is a classic. Now, I like the original Leatherface and I like the one that they did, but I think they've done another one since then as well. So I like the remake they made of him back in the early 2000s. I think they made another retake of it as well.
Yeah, they did. I like the classic one and stuff like that. Or I like the classic one the best. The remake, I wasn't hating on the remake. I think there was the one with Jessica Biel in it. This exact pop though, I wasn't digging. I like the Butcher look better.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. The Butcher
for
looks a lot
Leatherface
better. Yeah.
than the pretty lady mask.
Yeah.
The Butcher one is just classic and it's just eerie.
Right.
I think it's a fantastic looking pop.
I mean, this one's okay. Look, I would collect this one if it was available to me.
If I saw it, why not?
Yeah, I don't know that I would go out of my way to find it, but I've never seen a Leatherface in the wild. I mean, there's a lot of the old horror pops that I've never seen in the wild.
Well, and you're even missing a lot of ones like and I've seen them before. I don't know why I didn't pick them up, but like Pinhead. What was Pinhead from? Where's JKO when I need him? Or Chase will probably know. I can't get it in my head right now. I know it. I've seen it. But you got characters like Pinhead's a great one. Of course, I've seen Chucky and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good one. I do like this. But this reminds me of like the old school. Like this verges on the Jason Voorhees, the Michael Myers, stuff like that.
Right. And did you know that $7 a pop? I want to say this.
Hellraiser. There we go.
Did you know? Did you know that here recently they had a whole bunch of Jason Pops signed and they were selling those off? Do you ever get any of their like mail or any of the stuff that they're doing? I've never bought anything from $7 a pop, but how I receive like any notifications from them seems kind of weird to me, but I do. So,
I've saved their website and I've gone onto it a few times. No, I haven't seen anything with the signed stuff, and especially when it comes to signed, to me buying anything signed, unless I get it personally signed myself, unless it's coming with a certificate of authenticity. I mean, you're just buying something that somebody put on there, to be honest with you. So, I have trust issues there.
Well, when I went to the Chicago Con and got one of my Hero Academia pops signed, I never got it authenticated. Now I know that it.
You can get that graded.
Yeah, I can do it now, but I was there, so I know it was signed. I don't plan on selling it. In the event that I did sell it, I would just send it off and have it graded. I mean, I can take the box, break it down, send it to them. They'll authenticate it, send it back to me. To me, it's just not that big of a deal, but I could see it if you were buying one. But I think on $7 a pop that they're actually offering like the JKC or whatever you call it, JSC. They're actually offering that with it. Now, I know that we're doing something a little different today than what we normally do. We're actually going to go over our top 10 horror movies as well.
Yeah, I pulled this off of Insider, and mind you, this is the only thing I can really find is going over the top 30. But we're just going to pull their top 100, and they did have some great top ones in there. Some Alfred Hitchcock ones in there as well. But we're going to go over some of these I've never even heard of. Like this top 10 one, and if it's in the top 10, I might actually go try to find it and watch it. But Harpoon, never really seen it. I guess it came out in 2019. I don't know if it was more of a B-rate film, but it looks like Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 97.
I've never heard of it. Here's the thing though. I don't necessarily believe Rotten Tomatoes or any of those things because I've seen them review stuff and then I went and watched the movie and thought, well, how did they possibly give this a 99 or a 98 when it was this bad? So I don't tend to really believe like their ratings at all. I think some of that might actually be bought.
Well, here's my perspective on critics, and I've always said this with any movie critics out there that my perspective on critics is a lot of times critics don't like the movies I like, so why should I pay attention to them?
That's right. Look, I agree with you 100%. I don't pay the Rotten Tomatoes any sense. I've never heard of this movie though. Never heard of it a single day.
Here's a classic.
This is a classic.
Aliens. Now, again, this is they're pointing out the second one. This is Aliens off the original Alien. Both of them were fantastic movies. Of course, Sigourney Weaver was awesome in all of them.
So here's the thing, though. I don't necessarily know that I would have considered this one horror. Once again, I can see how it is horror now that it's in a horror lineup, but I would not have considered that to have been a horror movie.
Again, I think to me, you can consider anything horror that's going to sit there and have that scare factor. And Aliens always had that scare factor, whether they came out of the water, they came out of the ceiling. They did all kinds of stuff. They gave you that, jump out of your seat moment.
I can see that now that it's in that lineup. But if I was 20 minutes ago, I would not have said Aliens would have been a horror movie. I would have said it was some kind of strange action film. I mean, so maybe it's like a horror action. If that's a such thing, maybe it's in its own category.
Yeah, but like I said, also guys, remember that both of these lists, just like any list out there, everything's subject to what it is that you guys enjoy. And we're just going off of a list that somebody had already put together. But what else we got? Night of the Living Dead. This is the 1968 version of Night of the Living Dead. This was the first zombie style movie.
So I've never actually seen this whole movie. And I say whole movie, I've watched bits and pieces of it, but I just couldn't make myself sit down and watch the whole thing. I've never been able to force myself to just watch the whole thing.
It's creepy. It's definitely, if you've seen Night of the Living Dead, and I have watched the whole thing, it is actually a very well put together film. It's creepy though. Definitely creepy.
I've never really sat down and watched the whole thing. I've just seen bits and skits and pieces of it here and there, but never just really sat down and watched it.
And again, when we go back to the Aliens, he has said DJ. I'm not even going to try because I know I'm going to kill that. Yeah, we're just going to call you DJ and go from there.
There you go.
Alien. He doesn't think Alien's a horror movie. I do, because again, I think it gives you that jump factor. It gives you that jump out of your seat scare factor. So I would still put that in a horror genre. Well, now you can get a dip. Now that, mind you, horror is just an overall large genre. You can break all the rest of them down from there, like slasher films, gore films, all different types of stuff. I mean, if you don't think Aliens is maybe you may not think an Alfred Hitchcock movie is horror, which that's the original horror by any means.
Well, I see that Pop the Heat put over there that with movies, it's really just your taste. Look, there's a lot to be said about that, right? It really just depends on how you feel about it. Now, but I also see what you're saying. With horror, it's just a big umbrella. So you say horror, and then you have all your other subcategories that fall down below that somewhere. And that's what I was saying. Aliens, it's probably more like a horror action, right? I mean, if you were truly like trying to put it in a subcategory, I would say it would be a horror action, because like you said, it has the jump factor, right? You have jump scares, you have all of that involved, but then you also have like this whole plot of killing them and guns and the whole like Rambo style, and so it's definitely like a horror action type film.
Now I agree with you to a certain point. On one thing here, T1 definitely had that jump out of your seat factor every time. He would come by a surprise or something like that. T2, not so much. I never found a scare factor with T2.
That's with sequels, though, right? They're never as good as the first.
But T1, yes, I'll give it to you. I think T1, but I think again that falls into a horror action.
Right.
It doesn't have the slash factor of a Nightmare on Elm Street or a Halloween, but it does have that jump out of your seat moments.
It has some horror effect to it, so I can definitely see where that comes into play.
And I agree with you. And again, because you haven't watched this movie all the way through, I'm not going to say anything about it. But I would say the worst part of this is the hero's ending.
Yeah. All right. Come on, let's go. It's one day I'll sit down and watch the whole thing.
Let's say, there's a movie called Signs that scared the holy crap out of me. I would agree. M. Night Shyamalan, he's a sick bastard. He comes up with some weird movies, but that's just like when he did The Village. Village scared the crap out of me. But of course, the only thing with M. Night Shyamalan's movies, you can really only watch them once, because once you've already figured out the movie, then it's like, okay, now it's not scary anymore.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see where the rest of the list goes, but I'm thinking of some other films that could be into the horror line.
Yeah. This one I don't know. I guess it's maybe a foreign film. Wayneko Mr's Harmony.
No, I don't have a clue.
We're
zero clue. Yeah, zero clue what that one is.
Yeah. The Loved Ones. An Australian team horror. Again, no, nothing about it. And we, if we're not finding a whole lot of this bottom 10, then I might skip up to a few. We'll talk about a few other ones that are classic. The Vanishing. Now, this is the original, the 1988 version. They did do a remake of The Vanishing, and that was fantastic.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I think this is another one that, when you said Vanishing, I'm thinking of Vanishing Point, and the Vanishing Point's clearly not a horror film. So I've never seen it. Don't even know how to like comment on it. I like the picture and where it's taken from, how they got it from behind them to give you this whole like feel of the picture. But I mean, other than that, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Again, you know, yeah, I think it's got moments of that scare factor, but you know, you'd have to put it in a different category, to be honest with you. For me, I didn't really find it like scary. Eyes Without Face. I'm not sure about this, but that picture is a thing of nightmares.
It's a creepy picture. I don't know the film though.
Something about a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that I could go without ever seeing that image again. Man, I don't know. Maybe I should have looked at the bottom 10. I was starting to look at all the other ones, and I was like, man, this looks to be a great list, but then they seem to screw up on the bottom.
We've kind of gotten lost here somewhere.
I know we got lost. What do they say? Is this? Oh, isn't that? Oh, Get Out. On that, I don't know. That wasn't even. Let's go back up to some of these top ones above 8, because I don't know. This website is kind of eh.
So there's some creepy films that I didn't see in there. What is this one called?
The Quiet Place.
I don't think I've ever heard of it either.
It was written by John Krasinski. I can't speak today. And it was had his wife filming it. It's really quiet because, of course, it has to do with they can't make any noise, because they make any noise, then you know, they got these like alien monster creatures that are coming down and just killing them. And she's got this one scene in there. She's literally giving birth, and she can't say a peep.
So is this like the one that they made where they walk through the woods? That one came out 2 or 3 years ago. It was kind of weird. It was like a
couple years ago. It had them really through the woods,
different.
Being quiet, and then all of a sudden, like someone turned on one of those action toys and they freak out.
Yeah, the things come and like grab them, and you don't really know what it was. Kind of weird.
Now, this I would say is the classic among classics. I can still watch this movie today.
Well, I think anything Alfred Hitchcock. I don't even know that I consider that horror, though. To me, it somehow becomes funny in just what's going on.
Well, you got to look at it in the time in which it was made, though. In the time in which it was made, I mean, this is absolute horror by any means. Now, anything that is being put out today by today's standards, this looks like a cupcake movie. But you gotta set yourself back in the time of the 1960s when this movie came out. This movie was absolutely, horrifying.
Oh no! Look, I get it. Is sometimes you have to just take a step back, but even you don't necessarily have to take a step back. Look, I can watch older films and appreciate the work that went into making the older film without trying to like pick apart the fake blood and all of that nonsense at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, every genre's got to start, and I think again, Alfred Hitchcock back in the 60s was well ahead of his time with the crazy multi angles that he used to do and stuff like that. So again, Alfred Hitchcock, I've just got a huge appreciation for him, because that's what I was raised on. My mom was a big Alfred Hitchcock fan, old school horror, and that I've seen so many of his films, and they were absolutely fantastic. Of course, here's a great one, 1991, Silence of the Lambs.
That's very classic, right? I mean, but this is one of them.
Lotion on his skin, one of the most sought after or most said lines by anybody.
This is one of them to me that it falls under the horror umbrella, but to me it must be more like a horror mystery, right? Or it has to be like a horror mystery, because it feels a lot like they're solving a mystery, like a detective film. So maybe it's something on that basis, right?
Sorry, I had to put.
I seen Bearded Barbarian with his Hitchcock as a recent film. I ignored him and kept going.
Let's see what else they got on this list real fast.
Yes, Vinyl. That pop is really hot. So I have that one and the two other ones that you've seen with he has a blood splatter where he's got it all over his mouth where he bit the cop. I think at that point where he ripped his face off or something stupid. And then there's the one that doesn't have any blood. So those three. There's actually I think another one other than those three, but I have those three and would grab the other one if I found it.
Yeah, I definitely. If I found them, I would definitely pick them up. Now, this is definitely a classic one for me. Halloween, original one with Jamie Lee Curtis. Great film. I'm not even hating on the Rob Zombie remakes, to be honest with you, but there was something about Michael Myers, a guy that went through the entire movie with a mask on, with no express. I mean, to have someone with a mask on, no facial expressions, no nothing, is scary as hell.
Well, yeah, no, Halloween is creepy. Michael Myers is really creepy. He's just a really creepy character. I agree with you 100%. It's something about the way he just stares at people with no facial expression and no saying nothing with a big knife in his hand. Just, makes him appear very creepy.
And it is still to this day, to be honest, and again, this movie came out in 1978. I still see people dressing up as Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time.
One of the most classic Halloween outfits, no pun intended,
all the time
that I've ever seen. Rosemary's Baby. If you have not seen this, you are missing out. This was fantastic.
I've definitely never seen that movie ever.
Rosemary's Baby basically was the devil.
Oh,
we'll just put it at that.
Sounds like pretty awesome film.
It was an old school film. It was more like a B-rate film than anything. But we'll hit up a couple more, and then I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What are your favorite horror movies of all time, and whatever you guys consider to be horror movies? This one I think is a foreign film. It's an Iranian horror movie. Never seen anything about it.
I would almost be afraid to watch some of the foreign films like that in fear that it might not have been made up, in fear that like some of the stuff they were doing was not like Hollywood effects. So I wouldn't sit down and watch a whole lot of that.
I think we're gonna end this list on this one. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh,
never seen it, not even once. But I don't really get into horror films.
Right there is creepy as hell. Absolutely creepy.
It looks creepy, but I don't. Like I said, I don't really get into horror films. So the fact that I don't get into horror films, it's not surprising that I didn't see it.
So were you the type? Now I was the type when, let's say, like the Saw series, and I still like a good gore horror. But like the Saw films, were you that? And they used to bring those out every year on Halloween. In fact, they've got another one coming out that was supposed to come out this Halloween with Chris Rock, and I'm all for watching it. But were you one of those that had to go see the Saw films like myself?
I didn't have to go see them. I seen them all the way up into the one where I'm trying to remember the muscle man threw the girl into the little like what would you call it? It was an opening in the floor, so just a hole. He threw the girl into the hole where it had a bunch of dirty syringes in there, and she had.
Oh yeah, that
was the last one I seen. And look, I'm such a germaphobe that made me hurt for her. I mean, when he picked her up and threw her in that hole, and it was all those dirty syringes, I was like, oh no, I would have had to kill him. That would have been it for him. That would have been it for Big Man at that point. That would have just been it for him.
Yeah, but she ended up living.
Well, with some kind of disease, I'm sure of. I mean, it's something about landing in that many dirty syringes. This tells me that you're not walking away disease-free. Hey,
yeah. Well, if you seen him afterwards, yeah, she actually she ended up becoming a big accomplice to John.
Right. Well, it's so I watched them all the way up until that one. And look, I have nothing wrong with horror films, but my imagination tends to get away with me when the lights are off and everything's dark. So I don't really watch horror films because of that.
That's the best way to watch a horror film.
No. I mean, after the film is over, weeks after the film is over, my imagination still plays like little tricks on me here and there, and I just don't need my imagination playing tricks on me like that. So I just don't do it. I am wondering though. I see that we've had some of them over there, like The Exorcist, the 13 Ghosts. Ghost. All of those are really good ones.
Oh, I love 13 Ghosts.
One of them that I'm gonna bring up that's going to be like in everybody's like childhood memory somewhere. The Blair Witch Project, and I don't know how many of y'all are gonna consider that horror.
At what point you watched it too? Because
that was horror.
I watched it within the first couple of days it came out, the first weekend. And what's funny about this is if you step yourself back, that was in the 90s. Step yourself back into the 90s, and you're watching this the first weekend it comes out, and it scared the crap out of me. I would agree. It completely scared the crap out of me. But at that point, the three people in that movie, they put themselves in hiding.
Yeah. How many of us wondered if that movie was real?
I did. I thought it was real to begin with until all of a sudden it was until the next week, later in the next week, that all of a sudden they came out in the internet and they said, "Yeah, this is us. We're here.
Totally we made the whole thing up."
But it was genius. It was absolutely genius.
They filmed it on an old VCS, probably an RCA, where you had to put it on your shoulder. They filmed it on one of those old things. It had the old camera reel. It was a god awful low budget film that these kids probably made while they were still in high school. Great epic movie. When I think horror and like epic horror movies, that one's right there on the top of my list of what I like think of as an epic horror film.
Yeah, that was a classic one. Let's go down the line with some of these people on here. We got Scream. Oh, that was a great
Scream was epic.
That was definitely a series that made you jump out of your seat. I'll give you that.
Scream went into the comedy side to me, so I would have to say that's a comedy horror because I like Scream. I think it's funny. I think everything about it's funny. I think even the parodies that they make about Scream are funny.
But when you were in the theater watching, especially the first one, when you were in the theater watching it, I mean, I jumped out of my seat on a few things. I mean, it still gave you that real scare factor.
Yeah, but then you had the Deputy Doolittle, or what was his name, Doodle, or whatever. It had so many funny parts and all of that to me, and such an iconic movie. That's a good one.
And I do believe that your parents did call you Rosemary's Baby. I do believe that to a certain extent. Peter Barbarian. He says my parents used to call me Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, I can believe that. The devil. Yeah, I can believe that.
Says any Exorcist movies. I completely agree. Exorcist was fantastic, especially and I mean when you're watching it for the first time and it scares the crap out of you.
I think it was the original Exorcist for me though. I don't necessarily know that I've seen any of the new ones, but the original was pretty cool.
This one too. This one scared the crap out of me as a kid. Was Children of the Corn.
Oh, Children of the Corn is creepy. Man, that is a really creepy film. There's nothing that's not creepy about Children of the Corn. Just a creepy film.
13 Ghosts. We said 13 Ghosts. Great movie.
That was a good one, but that's one of those ones that I didn't necessarily know that I considered it a horror film. It was really like a murder mystery that you figure out.
Yeah, like a whole mystery. I mean, but then again, sometimes if you go back to watching something like John Carpenter's It, I mean, it was a horror movie, but it was definitely a mystery at the same time.
Right. No, look, I agree with you, and that goes back to that. Well, they fall under the blanket of horror, but what genre or what would you really call that?
Yeah, exactly. Jeepers Creepers. Don't know. I've never actually seen any of them. I know that's sad to say, but yeah, I've never seen any of the Jeepers Creepers movies. I would also, let me see, where was it? Beard Barbarian says Blair Witch.
Blair Witch
definitely
classic.
I'm gonna give two other ones that I don't think I've seen on here, and these are actually, if I go into some newer ones, and I'm saying newer ones within the past 20 years. To me, what stands out, especially, and this is why I keep it up here, is this tape up here, The Ring. The Ring scared the shit out of me.
The Ring was a really good one. That's definitely just straight horror. Just straight horror when it comes to The Ring. That was a really good one.
Absolutely loved The Ring. That was a fantastic movie. The Grudge was, I mean, was like the Japanese version of The Ring.
That's what it was. The Ring, as far as I was concerned. I mean, the creature that came out of the TV was the Grudge.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. And the other one, I don't know. I guess you would consider it. I don't know if it would necessarily be considered a horror. but maybe more of a horror suspense, was The Fog.
I don't think I've ever
You ever
sat
seen
down and
The
watched.
Fog?
No.
And the only reason I
Yeah.
thought it was a great movie, because it was kind of like, alien. I mean, you really didn't see the aliens, but it had like this, Lord of the Flies type thing where people in the supermarket was trying to jump on. But the worst part about that movie is the ending. Absolute worst part of that movie, and I think is the saddest thing ever. So if you've seen The Fog, if you haven't seen The Fog, I'm not going to give you a spoiler on it, but definitely I hate that ending. JKL came with a hard one, Amityville Horror, based off of true events.
That's a classic. I don't, I think that when they say based off of true events, they need to like word that a little better, because they're just saying that it could have happened somewhere at some point in some time, or maybe this piece happened there and that piece happened here and this piece happened here and we brought them all together.
Well, the house is still there.
The house is still there.
I mean,
Yes.
we should get Barbarian needs to do a video in front of that house.
Oh no,
that house. I know he's out there in Mass. He needs to do a video in front of that.
I wonder if they turned it into a bed and breakfast. You know that
No.
that you can go to what is it? I'm trying to think of what's her name? Izzy. What's her name? Izzy Borden. The Borden house.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden. There
Lizzie
we
Borden.
go. You can actually go to her house. They turned it into a bed and breakfast. I mean,
Yeah.
we could go do some unboxings there one day if you want. I mean, it's not that.
I've got the greatest place. I would always love to do unboxings and actually a video on. Again, my wife doesn't want me doing these types of videos by any means, but there's two places I've always wanted to go to badly, and I know I'll scare the crap out of myself on it, but I want to hit this one real quick. Chase said American Werewolf in London. Great classic film. Two places. One would be the location in Colorado where The Shining was based off of. I can't remember the name of the hotel right now. I know you guys are going to hit it up. I know you guys in the chat know what the name of that hotel is. For some reason, it's just out of my head. And then the other place is the Queen Mary.
I don't have a clue. I know the Queen Mary's a boat, but I don't have a clue.
Queen Mary is in Long Beach Harbor.
Right.
And we'll have to do that. If we ever go to San Diego Comic-Con, we're gonna have to do it like go out there an extra day and spend one night on the Queen Mary, because it's basically just a hotel now.
What's it gonna do?
It is haunted.
I don't believe in haunted. Just heads up. I don't believe in any of that. None of it.
Hey, that may be a challenge. We may have to go do a video on the Queen Mary.
So let me tell you. Let me tell you why I don't believe in ghosts and hauntings and things like that. If ghosts and hauntings and things really happen
in Virginia, my bad.
So why are ghosts only at nighttime? Why if I was a ghost, why would I only haunt things at night? I mean,
that's not true. If you watch a lot of like the modern ghost hunters, especially on like YouTube and stuff like that nowadays, they'll go during the day. I mean, if haunted is haunted, whether it's day or night. There is a stigma, especially with like poltergeists and demonic beings, where of course 3 o'clock at night is the witching hour. So it tendency seems to be that more things happen at 3 a.m. Than any other time. But yeah, yeah.
I just look. I have to see them during the day. If I see them during the day, I believe with you. Anything at nighttime, it's my imagination at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen things happen to people during the day. Back to movies real quick. Poltergeist, classic movie, great one. O2G brought up a bunch of them. Critters, Tremors. Yeah, it had the scare factor, but that was more in that comedy horror genre. Leprechaun was just creepy.
Leprechaun was just creepy. That's just a creepy film.
That was just creepy.
Chase's Kingdom says overnight in an abandoned prison will freak you out. I'm not going to do overnight in an abandoned prison. I'm telling y'all, we need to go to like Lizzie Borden's house, and we need to do a live from Lizzie Borden's house. I can't see like the downfall in that whatsoever. I've always wanted to stay in a place like that. If any place is haunted in this world, it has to be that. I mean, let's just be honest. Now,
I've seen videos from the Queen Mary. She's a trip, man. She is definitely a trip.
Queen Mary.
But also, like I said, just for also the nostalgia purposes of being such a fan of The Shining, I'd love to. I think it's the Boulders. Is that what the name of the hotel is? Something like that. It's up in Colorado. It's still there. and it's it's a hotel that Stephen King stayed at that got him the idea to write the book. Someone did say the Overlook Hotel. It didn't sound familiar, but I'm not sure. That could very well be possible.
Hey, I seen Zach's comment. I hear you trolling me, Zach. It's cool. I see it. I see it, buddy.
Oh, Captain Pops! It took me a minute to get that one.
I see
Took me a
you,
minute
buddy.
to get that one.
I got you. No, there's no Captain Pops here.
Just a couple more real quick. We'll hit up them going off. House of 1,000 Corpses, definitely scary. Had that gore factor. If you like that gore factor, you definitely
another
do
one
that.
that I've never sit down and watched. I mean, I know that's a Rob Zombie film, and I should have sit down and watched that one, but I haven't. One day I'll sit down and watch it.
JKL, of course. We man, our fact checker over here.
Talking about the Mist.
I am talking about the Mist. The Fog was creepy though too. The Fog was a much older film. It was like I think a 1960s movie, if I'm not mistaken. But the Mist was more of a newer movie type thing. Bearded Barbarian says horror movies scare him.
I see that Bearded Barbarian said he went to the Savannah, Georgia on a tour, on a ghost tour. I was wondering, did you like bump into any of your old friends while you were there? I mean, were they like dressed up as Confederate soldiers or something? I mean, did you see any of them? I'm just wondering. Just wondering.
Now, this is interesting. I didn't know this. Michael Myers' house was turned into a chiropractor. Neck crack there. That's fantastic. It's actually kind of awesome.
I don't want to get my neck cracked there. I've only been to a chiropractor a couple of times in my life, and I don't like it when they crack my neck anyways. I think that there's something sinister going on there.
Yeah, and Savannah ghost tours are great. My wife and I have done a ghost tour in St. Augustine, Florida, one of the oldest cities around, and that was definitely real fun to do. But actually, the city with the supposed most haunted city in America is Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah. I think I've heard all stuff like that, but look, it's so hard. It's so hard for me to believe in them because I don't believe in them. I have this like firm rule that if they don't come out during the day, there's no way that they come out during the night. They're just not. Things are just not going to only happen at nighttime, right? It's your imagination.
If it's haunted, it's haunted.
Right. So I want to see it during the day. That's right. I want to see it during the day. Oh, let's wait till it gets dark. Ain't that funny? Hey, I'm sorry, Bearded Barbarian. I had to take a jab back. Every once in a while, I got to get a jab back in there.
And I have passed this motel. I used to live in Vegas, and the job I did had me go all the way through the Nye County thing. And there is a clown motel in Tonopah, Nevada, which is about 3 miles north of Las Vegas. And I saw it off the freeway, and I will not even go in the parking lot.
No, not doing it.
Oh, it's if you see pictures of this place, it's no,
not happening. All right.
And the funny part about it is, right behind the hotel is the Tonopah Cemetery.
Oh, well, there we go. That always makes sense to put the cemetery, right close to it.
I haven't said Ghostbusters. I don't consider Ghostbusters I don't. Ghostbusters is more of a comedy, I think. Ghostbusters doesn't give you that scare factor.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that I consider Ghostbusters a horror movie. I mean, but I could see where it would fall under that umbrella again.
You could put it under that umbrella.
I can see where it falls under that umbrella.
More of a, I don't know. Maybe just me. I just never had that jump out of your seat moment with Ghostbusters.
Well, are we about ready to wrap this up today? I've got a Mandalorian. I got a Mandalorian episode waiting on me to watch. I haven't sat down and watched it.
Jake already watched it because we already got the message from him.
No, don't give me no kind of.
I've watched, I think, the first 10 minutes so far.
I'm gonna sit down and watch it here in a little bit. I got to eat dinner, get me some popcorn ready, and then I'm gonna sit down and watch it. Guys, don't forget tomorrow at 3:30, Mr. Techbot JKL Fetch Frequency. I know a lot of us haven't met Fetch Frequency, but we will tomorrow. JB from Discovery Bay Comics and myself will all be going live, and we're just going to be talking about the recap of what we watched today, right? So it's just going to be a panel review of what we watched today. We'll be on for about an hour. If you want to come hang out, you want to chat, you want to talk about it, come hang out with us, sit down. Grab some coffee and we'll have a conversation.
On there for support.
Say what?
There's too many. I'm just on there for support. Too many Star Wars geeks in that group.
Well, I really like the fact that there's a lot of Star Wars geeks in there. And I used to think before JB and JKL that I was like really in tune with my like Star Wars, I'm trying to look for it. I don't want to say Stormtrooper, my Jedi, my inner Jedi, right? I used to think that
I'm going to say is the Force is strong with JKL.
I'm telling you. I mean, I've never seen anybody. He has so much knowledge in it that I had to stop and ask him the next day how he learned so much about it. I said, I just don't understand how you could know so much about Star Wars. I mean, what could have happened? He told me as a kid he was really into it, and then he just learned everything he could. He said he hasn't done that in a long time, and I thought, man, I can't even believe he retained that much information about Star Wars.
But nonetheless, we got live tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow is Halloween. So everybody, please stay safe. Do Halloween wherever you feel comfortable at doing it. And I will definitely be taking my kids out trick-or-treating. But definitely stay safe in the world that we have around us right now. And then also, we are going to have probably not till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'll put a post up. We're going to have the first Techbot After Dark.
Techbot After Dark. I'm going to have to make sure I set an alarm for that one to make sure I'm watching that one. I'm going to put that one on the big TV, though. I'll cast that one to the TV. I
haven't really nailed down what our topic is, but of course, it'll probably be something Halloween a little bit too. But who knows? We'll see where this one goes. And I may talk a little sports. I may talk a little bit of horror. I may talk a lot of Marvel. Wherever the chat goes and wherever I feel like talking, that's where we're gonna go. So enjoy. And again, it's all based on YouTube. You guys change my where my mind thought is, and we start talking about something of yours. That's just the way it's gonna go.
That's the way it's gonna go. I like it. It sounds good.
Also, wait, hold on. I just saw something. Wait, not that one.
Take care, Chase.
Also, there's Con tomorrow.
Con tomorrow. What is Con
Wait,
tomorrow?
I need some reference on that.
What is Con tomorrow?
Intergalactic Techbot After Dark.
Intergalactic Techbot After Dark. There we go.
I like it.
Oh, there we go.
John Lockwood says he goes to church for Halloween. Well,
that's always a good place to go. Always a good place to go.
Whatever you guys
right.
make a tradition on. But yeah, Cowtown Hearst, Texas Con. You guys are doing a Comic-Con tomorrow.
That's very awesome. Interesting. That is very, very interesting.
That's awesome. Well, if you go to it, enjoy, find some good comic books, find some good writers. Again, I'm missing Comic-Cons badly. So enjoy. If you do, hey, send us some pictures. Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah, I think they'll be back before we know it. Cons will be back.
But yes, anyway. So yeah, a lot of things going on. Definitely, again, Halloween tomorrow. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself. And enjoy time with others as much as we can. So other than that, don't forget to hit that like button down there. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And also, if you're catching us on the rewind, always leave us a comment. We love it. So other than that, guys, we want to appreciate the time y'all have given us. And if you're new to the live stream, welcome.
Hey, guys, we will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. As my friend Dead Skeleton says, hit that bell, become a ding dong.
There you go.
Hey,